Hello, I've been waiting for you. So you're wondering what I did with my money? Now you can find out. First of all, I sold this old tractor of mine for 38,000 euros. I then sold this trailer for 49,000 euros. I went home to sell the milk as well, since if you remember, the milk trailer was also full. I received another 15,000 euros for the milk. This milk is a pretty good business. Then I visited the lady in the store, who, as you can see, was not feeling too well. I decided to buy a really big tractor, which pulls everything and goes everywhere. A tractor for which nothing matters. This is a brand new model. With 1,000 horsepower, this tractor has nothing to stop it. And on top of that, it goes at 80 kilometers per hour. It got nice new tires. In the shop, they put a 1,000 kilograms weight on the back. You don't really need it, but you never know. They also put weight on the front, and it was painted in such a very beautiful and special color. It cost 466,750 euros. It was painful, but you only have to buy it once. Now tell me, isn't it beautiful? Look how beautiful the painting is. Let's sit in it and start it up. Let's see how it sounds. I rested for the next 4 months. There was nothing to do. Of course, I fed the cows every day, but I didn't do anything else. The radio station paid me every month, although always only half of what we wrote in the contract, but I'm not complaining, because at least I have passive income. Now that I had rested so much and the soybeans were ready, it was time to start working again. Then I remembered that the milk trailer was full, so I quickly called Jack over and I went to the store to sell the milk. I arrived quite quickly with the new tractor. Then we started transferring the milk to the store's storage. They paid 17,000 euros for it again, but I didn't go home empty-handed. I sold this tanker for 21,000 euros. I saw a trailer with a capacity of 32,000 liters in the shop. It cost 68,000 euros, but I will be able to bring more milk at the same time and bring home more money. I also bought a dollar for 9,000 euros. This is a converter that allows you to pull trailers that were originally designed for trucks with the tractor. I helped Jack empty the harvester to keep the work going. This field is quite large, so I have to do this a couple of times. But that's not a problem at all. Then I went down to the shop to buy hay and straw because it ran out. These cows eat too much, but they also give a lot of milk. When I got home, I started plowing the land, then Jack took over the work from me. So I was able to go cut grass and make silage bales, because that was also used up. When Jack finished plowing, I quickly fertilized the field. Then I went back to the grassy area to continue making silage. I don't want to cut grass for a while, so now I'm making as much silage as I can. When I was done with all this work, I went to sleep. As usual, there was nothing to do in the winter months, so I took a break for a couple of months. I sold my planter because I wanted to buy a bigger one. And by the way, it was not for nothing that I bought a planter instead of a seeder at the very beginning. I bought an 18.2 meter wide planter to make planting faster. It was expensive, but I was able to pay it without any problems. I also bought 6 bags of seeds so that I don't run out during planting and have to come to the store. Then I went home and started planting. Now I planted soybeans again. But as I said before, I didn't buy a planter by chance instead of a seeder. I have plans for the future. I have big plans.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free.
When I finished planting, I decided to change my farm again a little bit. I demolished that dilapidated house, and an architectural company built me a very nice new Norwegian-style house. It is true that it cost 150,000 euros, but I deserve it after what I have achieved. I completely stopped stealing wood and make my own money. I also planted a few trees that provide shade in the summer heat. I planted flowers in pots to make my environment a little more colorful. And finally, I bought a couple of lamps so that when I sit out on the terrace in the evening it won't be so dark. I bought a liquid manure tank for 80,000 euros to replace the old house, which I built from half of the stolen wood. That's why it was so cheap. After that, I concreted a little more, because the space behind the liquid tank was too narrow. Meanwhile, Jack came over and helped me fertilize the field, while I was working on the farm. And I also built a fence, because the deers kept coming in from the forest and snacking on the hay reserved for the cows. Now I hope they won't be able to come in here. Since the silo was empty, I could also replace it with a new one. My farm is already so beautiful, but this rusty silo really made the overall picture look ugly. The other very ugly thing was this ruined shed. It had to go too. I bought a nice big shed for 100,000 euros, which could fit a lot of things. As you can see, everything had a red roof and the color green was also found in all the buildings. It is important to choose the right colors. It was difficult to choose the new silo, because I didn't have much space to build it, but it was important to be able to store enough crops in it, and that's not the last point if it works properly. In the end, I bought a 400,000 liter silo for 90,000 euros. I planted a few more flowers by the tree. I surrounded it with small solar lights. I also installed high power lights for the manure tank, cow shed, and the workshop. As you can see, it is important to me that it looks good and is compact. I like my farm to be aesthetic when the colors and types of buildings match. Somehow I feel much better when everything looks good, new and clean, not rusty or broken. It's true that new buildings all cost a lot more money, but if I can, I'd rather spend my money on that than growing my bank account. Finally, I started moving everything nicely into the new shed so that my things don't get ruined if it rains. Please write in the comments how you think the farm turned out. What is your favorite part of building a farm? What are your strategies to build yourself the perfect farm? Is it important to you that it looks good, or is it enough to do its job? After I put away the baler, I had just enough space between the fence to fit a smaller shed. What luck, as if it was designed here. And of course I bought 2 lamps here too. Finally, I bought a new tractor with a front loader attacher and a bale fork to make it easier to mix the TMR for the cows. I also ran out of seed, so I bought 2 bags of that as well. For this day, there was nothing left but to attach everything to the tractor and go home to sleep in the new house. That's all for this episode. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to hit that like button. Have a nice day.